This is a Headgum podcast.
Sometimes when the world feels insane, you can take a little peek inside of Rachel's little brain. All these thoughts are swirling round and round inside. So join us on this journey as we take a little ride. We'll talk about dogs and kids and things. We'll talk about chicks and tampon strings. We'll talk about boys that'll make you cry. We'll talk about death, 'cause people die.
Welcome to Broad Ideas. Hello.
Hi.
Today we have a very, very cool person. I really enjoyed our conversation with Elizabeth Day.
Same.
She is an author, podcast host. Her new book,
One of Us, out now.
Which is funny because at the end of our
we
session,
felt like she was one of us.
yeah,
Listen for
Good
yourselves.
branding.
No. I was looking
Whatever.
yeah. My endless mission was to
Tell me.
find these fucking malt vinegar, like salt and malt vinegar crisps.
Okay, delicious.
Let me tell you,
Okay.
the bag I found that I was obsessed with was like at a heritage, or it was like a heritage thing.
Yeah.
So they don't have to sell them in any market. So I went all around London and tried every single, any kind of vinegar, but I was really looking for the malt vinegar, but any kind of vinegar, salt and vinegar crisp.
You are amongst friends here. I cannot tell you how much I love sauce and vinegar crisps. I'm so obsessed with them. Yeah.
Wait, I'm going to show you a picture. I won't do it now.
Are
of
crisps
the
crisps?
bag.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to
Yes.
say it because chips are fries.
Chips or fries. Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
For my 40th birthday,
Yeah.
my friend Giles gave me a box of different brands of sauce and vinegar
Are you
crisps.
serious?
Yeah.
We're really speaking
Oh,
the
yeah.
same
This is
language
amazing.
here.
And I had
I
to,
didn't-
and his gift to me was like, you have to rate each one. And he gave each one a category like tanginess, texture. And I rated each one. There were about 30 packets.
I love that.
Okay, I did that on my own. Like
I love
probably
it.
30 packets. I have to find, I'm going to show you this picture.
Please.
They said they were going to send me a box. These people were so nice. And it's like a
Okay.
small business.
Yeah.
It was the best
Ooh.
I've ever had.
I'm
Yeah,
getting
you have to tell me.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm going
I'm
to show you.
salivating
I won't
just
take the
thinking
time looking for it now, but I
Okay.
am going
Were
to
you
pull it out.
blindfolded or?
No, I wasn't, but I took it very seriously. And I was like, each one I gave a score out of 10 for each category. And the one that came out on top
Oh, yeah,
was,
tell me.
okay, they are the best, although I haven't tried the ones that
Right,
you're telling
but
me are the best.
Yes.
There's a supermarket chain called Co-op.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
the Co-op salt and vinegar crisps.
Was the best.
Sea salt and Chardonnay.
Yes. Oh, no, I had those. 100%.
Oh, they're
They were
so
very good.
tangy.
No, I had those exact ones.
Did
like,
you?
Yeah, the M&S ones were like fine.
Yes, they're okay. Pret a manger, did you have some from them? Sorry,
I actually
Sophia,
did.
I'm sorry.
This is great. I
We
love
did.
it.
Oh, maybe I did actually.
They're
yeah, 'cause
very
we did
good
go
as
in there
well.
and get my daughter a sandwich once. But
Yeah.
but we had, those are kind of here too.
Okay.
So that's why it wasn't
Which
as
ones?
It's not as exciting.
well, I don't say it correctly, but pret a manger
Will you say it?
Pret-a-manger. I say pret-a-manger,
because that's correct.
but I like pret-a-manger.
yeah, because it's just easier to say it that way, the wrong way.
Away in a pret-a-manger.
They're all over New York.
Yes,
you
I
can
do.
picture it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just never knew it was supposed to be said.
well,
like
it is
that.
supposed to be said that, but let me just
How
say
do you say
pret
it?
a manger.
That's how I say it.
Manger. Anyway, I cannot wait to show you this bag. I'm like so excited.
Oh, me too.
But it reminds me, I'm going to hit them up and be like, where are my crisps?
Yeah.
Where are my crisps?
I'm craving them right now.
I know.
Anyway, it was a real thing. It was fun though to like
Oh.
test them all.
Yes. I'm
And-
happy.
While we're on the topic, TK Maxx, not TJ Maxx.
Yes. Isn't it weird? Like the tiny little inflections
Yes.
that make a massive cultural difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on.
Is it the same though?
Yes, exactly the same.
Okay.
Yep.
It's just TK Maxx.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to, of course, go there as well.
And where do you go when you're here?
Okay. Where do I obviously go to what my cousin calls Target.
Mm-hmm.
Target. I love a Target because we
Yeah.
don't have that in the UK.
No.
That's a shame.
It's
Yeah.
a crying shame
a
is what it
shame.
is. I go there. I love Erewhon. Although
Yeah.
obviously like I have to work hard for a year before I go there in order to
So
afford
expensive.
the Hailey Bieber smoothie. Love that.
They
Um,
just took her name off of the smoothie.
Why?
Why?
I don't know why. It's probably because they
It
don't want
ran
to
its
pay
contract.
her
Okay.
anymore or something.
It's
I
like
don't
a
know.
licensing thing.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just called the Strawberry Glaze, if you're wondering.
I used to love Stamp on Hillhurst, but that's gone.
It's gone.
R.I.P.
Yeah, they closed. Mm-hmm.
So sad about that. I don't laugh, but I love the Coffee Bean on Hillhurst because they have a patio there where when I first came
In
to
the Albertsons parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
When I first came to LA, so I write books as well.
Mhm.
And when I first came, I would find it so exotic to be able to sit outside and type in the sunshine. And I used to go to the Coffee Bean on Hillhurst and write. And it's such a fascinating place to examine human nature. Because you're right, there's the Albertsons parking lot.
Yep, you're in the parking lot of Albertsons.
There's quite a few unhoused people who go there because of the heaters. There's also like a lot of script meetings, and there's an overspill from a Narcotics Anonymous as well. So that you get
Really?
it's all of human life is there.
A
It's
real
amazing.
blend.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love
Coffee
Cafe
blend.
Gratitude just to like scratch that LA itch.
Yeah.
And I love hiking around Griffith Observatory, and
Mhm.
yeah, I love LA. I really do.
I love that.
I know.
We haven't heard that in a while.
No.
I know.
Everyone's fleeing.
I know. And I have to say, I'm so sorry for what you have been through as a city.
Right. It's been a
Particularly in the
weird
last
time.
year.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
been a weird time. I did see it got on some list as like number 12, like the 12th best city in the country or something.
It is.
The 12th.
It still
12th.
is a wonderful
They were,
city.
they were proud.
People lost a lot, but
Yeah, it was hard.
LA has been hurting for a minute.
One of the things that struck me when I first came, so I went through a divorce in my mid-30s and I came to live in LA for 3 months because I wanted to go somewhere where there was sunshine, where it felt different and where I could start again, but also where I could speak the language. So I came to LA and I stayed in an Airbnb in Los Feliz. And the sense of community was so apparent to me. And actually, in London, you don't get that as much. It feels like LA, it's such a big city that it becomes a series of smaller neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And there's a real community spirit. That was my experience anyway, like how amazing that was. And
that's cool.
how people are friendly to you. And even if they're saying, have a nice day, and they don't really mean it, how much nicer is that than
I
British
like it.
cynicism?
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. LA gets a bad reputation for not having community. And we were just saying the other day, like I took my kids to baseball and then to dance class. And it's like, we saw someone from school and someone from it's so community heavy where we live.
Yeah.
And it feels great. I'm like, I wouldn't want to actually leave the community we have right now.
Right.
Because it is tight.
It is like that. I'm getting like
Yeah.
with soccer, like you start, everybody who's like in the league and you're seeing them everywhere.
She's a big soccer player.
Are you?
No.
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
sorry. I was like, I couldn't help it.
Absolutely not.
You love salt and vinegar chips
I
and
do.
soccer.
So actually,
is
I
a
do love
winner.
sports. Soccer's the one sport that I never knew or watched or whatever. Football. But what I was going to say is it was interesting in London because, I was there over the summer with my daughter, but it's not like you have homes with these backyards or like, in the city. But we actually were lucky enough to be on a garden, which felt like a park, which was so cool. And so the community there, because you were all together with other families and stuff, that was really nice.
You literally were living the Notting Hill experience.
Oh, yeah.
Geographically and like the movie.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm aware. And they're like, and on this street in the movie is where this happened. And then the Notting Hill bookshop, of course, always has a line out of it because of the movie. But I like Daunt books personally.
Oh, I love Daunt books too.
My favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
beautiful story in
beautiful.
Marylebone. Especially. Oh my gosh.
Oh
I
my
know.
God. I know.
I love a bookshop.
Love a bookshop. Well,
Yes.
as you are
Yeah.
a book
Speaking
writer.
of books,
Yeah.
yes. Tell us how you got started, what first brought you to writing. Give us a little bit of that
Everything.
backstory. Give us you.
So I have this slightly strange story about how I knew I wanted to be a writer, which was that my mother taught me how to read and write before I started school. And I think that gave me an early love for words because I associated it with being close to my mother,
Aw.
like sort of physically. And I've got an older sister, so it's like special that it was just our time.
Mhm.
And aged 4, I just remember having this idea that I needed to be an author. That was it. And I just knew that that was for me. And maybe it's because of those moments with my mother. Maybe it's because I loved books and the flights of imagination I could go on. But from that moment on, I stayed really true to that idea. And so throughout school and university, I was writing wherever I could. And then I became a print journalist, and I did that for many years. But I always knew that I wanted to end up writing. And so I started writing a book when I was 29, and that became my first novel. But I've always written books alongside other full-time jobs. So I was a print journalist, doing a lot of interviews, writing books. And then my personal life took a turn. So in my 30s, I had an intense decade of transition where I got married to the wrong person. And then we went through a divorce, which was really tough. And I really wanted to have babies. And I went through unsuccessful fertility treatment. Then I had the first of 3 miscarriages. And so I felt very lost. And I felt that I was a unique kind of failure, which is often the lie that failure tells you, is that you're the only person who's experiencing this. And you should feel humiliated and embarrassed and ashamed. And it was very isolating. And I just came to the conclusion that I wanted to understand more about failure and how I was feeling. And I wanted to ask people questions of it. And so as a journalist, I was so used to doing interviews for newspapers about people's successes. And I thought, well, why don't we flip that on its head and ask people about their failures? And podcasting was kind of just starting. I mean, I know in the States you're much more advanced than we are, but this is like 2018. And I launched How to Fail, and I didn't know what I was doing. I Googled, like, can I hire a sound engineer? I eBayed my wedding dress from my failed marriage to hire him.
Wow.
So it was very like on a shoestring. I drew my own logo with felt tip pens one night, and I started interviewing people about the times they failed in their life. And I thought it would exist for 1 season and that would be it. And actually, it's now still going. And it's changed my life in the most magical ways. So alongside writing, I now have this other outlet, which is all about connection and curiosity, exactly what you guys do. It's about asking people questions about what it is to be human. And that's the thing that kind of connects all of my work.
Wow.
That's incredible. And I love it so much because that's one of the things, I mean, to be completely honest, even doing a podcast, there has been resistance for me on just talking to successful people. And not like some people are it's what is deemed as that.
Yes.
Right? Where it's such a vast topic, and there's so many more secret successes that we don't see. And there's so many failures that really go into those successes.
Totally.
And also the value society puts on success versus the learning from the experience. And so the fact that you're diving deep into the psychology of that and the experience of that is not only necessary, but I think it's really important.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that and for saying that so brilliantly and eloquently. Like, nailed it. That's exactly what it is. Because, you know, failure is the thing that connects us all. Even though we might not want to fail, and even though we might seek to avoid it, understandably, it will happen at some point in your life. And actually, when you realize that, there's an opportunity there for connection with other people who have experienced similar things, but also, as you say, Olivia, for growth. Because unless we fail, we can never evolve.
Right.
We'll never be able to correct the things that we did wrong or that went wrong. And so there's a real opportunity there for learning. And it's radically redefined how I think of success as well. Because now success for me is not being able to get the best dinner reservations or being able to fly on private jets, as nice as I'm sure that is, because I've never done it. But for me, success is really about authenticity. So I can show up here and speak to you two, and I'm the same person that's at home with my husband and my cat. I'm the same person that shows up on my podcast or is writing books. And it took me a long time to be able to do that. Because I think, especially for women, we are so conditioned to perform, to please others, to try and be perfect, that we are scared sometimes that if we admit imperfection or failure, we'll be isolated or people won't like us anymore.
Mhm.
And that pressure is enormous.
Yes.
You're just constantly wearing a mask. And I was like, I just can't do it anymore.
Right.
And it sort of set me free. Talking about failure and understanding how other people feel about it has set me free in terms of success as well.
Let's be honest. Working on your mental health is hard enough, so finding the right therapist shouldn't be.
That's where Alma comes in. Alma, spelled ALMA, makes it simple to find a licensed in-network therapist who really gets you. You can browse their directory, no account needed, and filter by what matters to you: race, gender, specialty, therapy style, and more.
And this isn't just about convenience. It's about real connection. 97% of people who found a therapist through Alma said that they felt seen and heard. Because when you're struggling, a real person can make all of the difference.
Plus, Alma helps you find therapists who accept your insurance, so care is actually affordable. On average, people save 80% on the cost of therapy when using insurance, helping to reduce the financial stress and strain so you can focus on what matters.
Better with people, better with Alma. Visit helloalma.com/broadideas to schedule a free consultation today. That's helloalma.com/broadideas.
Feeling stuck in your daily wellness routine? You're not alone. Our friends at Cornbread Hemp hear you. Their organic CBD gummies are made to help you feel better, whether it's stress and poor sleep or just needing a moment to unwind.
CBD might just be what you need to level up your daily routine. Cornbread Hemp uses only the best part of the hemp plant, the flower, for the purest and most potent CBD. No fillers, no junk, just full spectrum goodness.
Right now, Broad Idea listeners can save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/broadideas and use code broadideas at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/broadideas and use code broadideas. Gosh, I know, especially as women, you know, and you brought up your fertility. Fertility. I just said that so.
I love
really
it when you said it.
enunciated fertility. I don't know what.
It's like ASMR.
I know. You're welcome, everybody. But you know, that whole journey and being open about that, but I think for women, that's one of the biggest areas where you can feel like a failure, whether it is actually having a child, or if you can breastfeed, or if you know, even being a parent, like all of that. So to be open about that, you know, and talk about your journey and everything. I mean, I think that is one of the biggest things most women, no, not all women want to have children, but you know, if you do, it's hard to not think that like your body's a failure.
100%. And you're right that not all people want to have children. I did. And I'm really passionate about talking about this because I don't think enough narratives exist in the public eye where someone has tried and failed to have the children they yearned for. Because I want people to know that there's hope on the other side of it. And I never felt that there would be. I thought that I would have to make a radical change in my life if I couldn't have children. And as it turns out, the journey that I went on, the radical change was internal in a way. And I'm fully at peace now with not having the children that I once longed for. But you are totally right that, again, as women, traditionally, we have been taught that it is our biological imperative to procreate and have kids. And I grew up in that culture of just assuming that I would get pregnant and have a family. And then to discover in my 30s that it wasn't going to happen that way for me, and that I would have to go through successive rounds of IVF, egg donation, all of that, and then have the experience of miscarriage, I absolutely did feel a failure. And as you put it, Rachel, that my body was failing me, because at the same time as I was experiencing those struggles, so many of my friends and family were just having babies as if it was the most natural thing in the world. It was just incredibly easy for everyone else. That's how it felt. And it's taken me a while to unravel that. And I still consider it a failure in one respect. It's the failure to live the life that I thought that I wanted.
Right.
But the amazing thing about not having lived that life is that the life I'm in right now is so amazingly unexpected. And there's so many opportunities within the not having children. And I'm so blessed that I have love in my life in so many other ways. And I have lots of children in my life in other ways. And I'm able to create in other ways. And so there are other ways of finding fulfillment. I actually just had Michelle Yeoh on my podcast, the amazing Oscar-winning actress. And she had been through a very similar thing. She had not had children, got divorced young. And now she's a stepmother and a step-grandmother. And I was able to ask her about that because I have 3 stepchildren.
Oh, you do?
Yes. So
Okay.
now...
How old are they?
They're actually like older now. So there's 21 and 19-year-old men, boys. I want to say boys, but I'm like, is that accurate?
Young men.
Young men. Thank you. And a 16-year-old girl. And that is an incredibly privileged position to be in, to kind of have this relationship with my husband's children, with his ex-wife, and not to have to parent is kind of amazing.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Because they have 2 amazing parents. So I get to show up as an optional added
call
bonus.
it a bonus mom, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Michelle Yeoh was so interesting about it because she said as well, I really did feel like I had failed my first husband. And it's partly why they got divorced. She's like, and I did feel like a failure as a woman. And I've had years of unlearning that narrative. And often we have that narrative because we're taught it by a society that doesn't quite fit us anymore. Or maybe a family narrative that isn't ours to hold. And it's been an extraordinary experience in many ways. It's taught me that I can be sad and at peace with that sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a lot. Let me
No,
share
we
my
love
life
it.
story.
That's why you're
we
here.
love it. We do.
But I have a question when it comes to the narratives.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, I said to my husband last night, I feel I'm failing our son. Sorry.
You didn't tell me this.
Well, because he has learning disabilities.
Did you have his conference?
Yeah, I didn't cry, but I'm going to cry now.
Okay.
First conference, I didn't cry. All right.
Hers parent-teacher conference.
Okay.
She
But
usually gets...
He was with the tutor last night, and it's, you guys, it's hell. It's like torture to keep him in the room. And I was like, I'm failing him. And it goes back to the, oh my God, did my body fail him? All of those things, right? And so I had a moment, which is fine, where I get caught up. I remember when this stuck with me. I was at your house. I had an audition for the OC and I didn't get it. And my friend was nannying this little girl and she goes, God, Olivia, you try so hard, but you just fail. And I was like,
Who said that?
Sorry, your friends.
my friend's kid, the kid she was nannying that was like 10 years old. So she didn't know what she was saying. But I remember it hurting and being like, she's right. And I kept that narrative forever. Like, I try
You
so
still
hard.
have it a little.
Why is it not working?
Yeah.
Right? And I saw that last night where I'm like, I'm providing him everything. Why is it not working? And then I went, okay, this is a narrative that needs to change. Right?
Yes.
How does one do that?
Yes. In 3 words or fewer. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that. That's such a beautiful example of everything that I believe in. That when we are brave enough to share something that feels so raw and emotional and so personal, there'll be so many people listening to this who feel seen in your words. And it's so profoundly important. And you sharing that, I would say, is an act of mothering. That is you doing the work. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I know a little about your son because I know that you're obsessed with the telepathy tapes from having to do
Obsessed.
Can we just put a pin in that and talk about it after I've answered this question? Because I have so much to say. It's one of the most amazing podcasts and has totally changed the way that I think about life. So how does one do that? Okay. I would say that as women, and perhaps you're listening to this and you relate to it in a different way, perhaps you are a marginalized person in some way, and your experience of the world is not the default experience of a cis, straight, white, middle-class male. Those people are lucky enough to be born in a world that is still made in their image. Now, that is changing, thank goodness. What happens if you are not privileged enough to be born into a world made in your image is that every time you fail, the danger is that you internalize that failure and you believe it to be your responsibility. You believe that you are the failure rather than failure being something that happens that is an overcomable obstacle on your path to eventual success. And I think that as women particularly, and I can only imagine as mothers, the society we live in, which is still patriarchal and misogynist, thrives on female shame. What you're talking about there is shame. You feel shame that you're not the parent that you believe you should be. And the antidote to shame, as our Queen Brene Brown says, is sharing. Because shame thrives in silence. It thrives in making you feel like a failure. It thrives in the alienation, the isolation of that. And it's why what you just did there is so powerful, because I hope that it makes you feel slightly less like a failure when you hear from the listeners who relate so deeply, or from me who relate so deeply in like my own failure to have children, that you are not alone, and that actually you're the precise opposite of a failure, because you have the amount of self-awareness that makes you into a present and gifted parent. And so I think reminding yourself, you asked how to do it. The first step is to remind yourself that you're being lied to by a society that wants your shame to thrive.
Because then they can sell me stuff to make me feel better.
Exactly. Exactly. And they can make you feel less powerful.
Right.
Actually, we all have so much power.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a radical act to exercise it as women. But it's so, so hard. And I don't want to give the impression that it's just a sort of one and done. You tell yourself that narrative is a lie and then you're okay.
Poof.
Yes, you have to keep relearning and
you have
unlearning.
to re-brainwash. So when I work with people, I'm always like, your job is to brainwash yourself.
Yes, I love that.
Over and over and over. And they'll be like, oh, well, I don't feel it. I'm like, I don't care. You do it enough times, over and over and over and over and over, till you start to maybe buy into it a little bit. Just the same way brainwashing happens to us. If you were to tell a child the first time that they're a failure, they probably don't believe it until they hear it over and over by society or by evidence or whatever. It builds a case that we then buy into.
Oh, I love that phrase. It builds a case. And one of the most profound things that I learned on my podcast, it was an episode I did in 2019 with a man called Mo Gaudat. He used to be chief business officer at Google X, and then he gave it all up because he wasn't happy. And he wanted to devote his life to working out what makes humans happy.
Love it.
He spent 12 years researching it, looking at all of the statistics, all of the algorithms, everything. And he's come up with a formula that he says can make every person happier. And essentially, a large part of what he says is that your anxious brain, the one that was hardwired from a cavewoman, caveman era to scan the horizon for woolly mammoths and for threats. It now exists in a world where we are overwhelmed by choice. And so your anxious brain sometimes can't distinguish between when there's a fire and your house is in danger, or when the toast has been left in the toaster for too long. Like your anxious brain can't distinguish. So you have to interrogate your anxious thoughts. He gave this example of having had an argument with his daughter, and he was walking down the street afterwards, and his anxious brain was saying, "You're a terrible parent. She doesn't love you anymore. You fail in so many ways every single day, Mo. You're useless." And he stopped himself, and he said, he actually gives his anxious brain a name. He calls his anxious brain Becky. He's like, I know.
Becky.
Not Becky.
Not Becky.
Not Becky, I know. And he said, "Becky, if you don't have objective evidence for that assertion, I'd really love it if you could remove that negative assumption and replace it with a more positive take. Thank you so much, Becky. I've logged that you're anxious, but I've got this." And in that way, he says that you can actually train your brain to be more positive. And I've done it, and it does actually work. Because the other thing that it does is that it introduces a gap between reaction and response.
That's
So you can choose how to respond rather than just falling into your default reactions.
Mhm.
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
I know we were dealing with that recently too, about reacting versus responding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just
Big
like
time.
got into a thing with a friend, and whatever. It seemed like they reacted, and I just sat with it till I could just be clear and respond in a calm way,
Well done.
which is hard because you want to just go right back, and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, which is easier in a sense because you can just release it all. But then it's like, hold on, sit with it, whatever. Do you have a name for your anxious brain?
I do.
What is it?
So Mo's Becky is
Mhm.
based on a girl at his school who was constantly pointing out all of the things that might go wrong. So she's super
So
pessimist.
good.
So I based it, I feel, on a girl at my school who I'm sure she's lovely now. But at the time, she was just slightly irritating. Apologies
I love
if she's
it.
listening to this, but my anxious brain is called Jennifer.
That's
Yeah.
good. We made up one for
our best
friend.
friend.
Oh,
We
yeah.
call hers Jessica.
Jessica.
Oh, that's such a good anxious brain name.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she's very
We're like,
Jessica.
oh, no,
she goes
here
into
comes
Jessica.
mode.
Jessica's
and
in
it's
full form,
Yeah.
full on Jessica.
I actually.
You need a name for yours, and I need a name for
Oh, I
mine.
have one because
What's
I
yours?
remember I wrote that children's book, My Little Gray Guy.
Yeah.
And I read it to my son recently because he was saying he notices his brain. And I'm like, yes, you're my son.
Wow.
He's like, I notice sometimes I'll think I'm not going to get the answers right, or I'll think this and I'll think that. And I notice my brain will lie to me. And I'm like, yes, you notice that it's a lie. I'm like, that's amazing. So I read him this book I wrote about my little gray guy. And it's like the liar in the head. And I read it to him and he goes, I don't think you wrote that. He's like,
Oh.
I think you stole that. He's like, you could get arrested for stealing. I was like,
hilarious.
I was like, that's my writing. And he was like, so now we reference that part where I'll say, like, was that you or was it your little gray guy?
Great.
And he can identify the difference.
But can I just say as well, how could you feel that you're failing as a parent when you have a conversation like that, when you taught your son
it's
so
a
She's like
easily?
that. She's like,
son.
that's my
It's a
older son.
different son.
Well, both, but you're showing
Yeah.
up. What I would argue is that you are showing up in exactly the way that your children need you to
I
show
know.
up because
I know.
you are you. And
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Like showing up in the imperfection is the authenticity, is the work.
Yeah. Sometimes I think he needs like a really good teacher as a mom, though. I'm a good teacher like this.
Yeah.
Like I was going to say, as you were talking, you're a really good mom.
Oh,
You are.
That's going to be.
I'm sorry, but you
Beautiful.
are. Like you're mothering all these people that you're talking to. And even us today, like you have that like mother energy, that like knowing and
Thank
nurturing at
you.
the same time.
Thank you
It's
so
true.
much.
Yeah, completely.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
100%. Oh,
I think what you're saying is that you are my children.
yeah. We're finally
Thank
here.
you so much. That's
No,
a
I
really
mean
beautiful
it.
thing to say, and it means a lot to me.
How
Thank
old
you.
were your stepchildren when you came into their lives?
Wait, so how long have we been together? 7 years.
Okay.
So I'm not good at math. What you would
So
call
like a
math.
9-year-old
be
girl.
9.
Yes. 9, 11, 16, I want to say, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an interesting time though to come
Super
in.
interesting. And actually, my previous marriage, I was a stepmother then as well.
Really?
Yeah, and they were much younger. I feel like part of my role in this lifetime is to be a stepmother for whatever reason. And so the first time around, they were much younger. They were 4 and 7. So I've had kind of both experiences.
Mhm.
But my stepchildren now, they have 2 amazing parents who do a great job co-parenting. And what I really admire about my stepchildren is that I feel like each of them knows who they are.
Mhm.
And when I met them, they had that inner confidence where they didn't see me as a threat. And that's a real blessing. Because
Yeah.
very often it's a very complicated relationship. I don't know if you have experience of it at all from like either side, whether you've had
Mhm. We do.
Mhm.
Well, we both
Oh.
had stepdads growing up and
moms.
moms.
I had both.
I didn't have a stepmom. But
Did you?
Yeah.
How old were you when they came into your life?
I was like around 14, 15. So
Was that tough?
it was for sure more so on the stepdad front because, it was my mom and my brother and I for so long. So having like a man come into the house was a
Yeah.
little different, because whatever, sometimes.
Well, because you lived with her full time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's different
Yeah.
than you weren't going like.
I mean, I would,
You
but
would, yeah.
I would go back and forth. But it was easier. I don't know if it was easier, but on my dad's side with my stepmom, she was very young. She was, I think, 29 when I was 14,
young.
something like that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But that was fine.
So I would love to get your advice,
Yeah.
actually, because I think I've been on a whole journey with step parenting where
Mhm.
during the years that I was trying so hard to have my own child, I think I was trying to perform the mother that I would be in order to ensure that we would have a happy blended family and I could kind of prove myself maternally to my stepchildren. Like,
Mhm.
look, I would be a good mother. Almost I was sort of putting it out.
Auditioning.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like-
It was like I was auditioning. And it was the
Yeah.
same thing with kind of friends' kids. I would always feel sort of so stressed around them.
Oh.
And part going back to what you were saying earlier, Olivia, it was almost like maybe the universe is telling me that I won't be a good mother. So I need to prove the universe wrong by constantly auditioning.
Like the pressure.
Yes. And what I now realize is that because of that performance, I wasn't being myself.
Of course.
And now that I've let go of that dream of sort of biological, conventional motherhood for myself,
Mhm.
I feel so liberated to be myself and to show up as myself. And I mean, you have to ask them for their side of the story, but I feel like my relationship with my stepchildren has got so much better because of that, because I'm not trying so hard anymore.
Right.
And I just get to, and children particularly sense that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
For
so
sure.
now they know who I am rather than my pretending to
yes.
be something else.
I will say my dad, when they first divorced, he had a very serious girlfriend, might as well have been a stepmom. And that was a very like try hard, but I also thought she was cool because she was like pretty and like very charismatic, but like also super fucked up, which I didn't realize at the time because I was a kid. But the try hard was very apparent.
Right.
And I do get that because you feel like I feel that way even meeting any kid now. Like no, I have to be your favorite adult you've ever come across.
Yes.
You're going to love me and you're going to let me hold you and I'm going to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like that feeling of like
You do though. You do.
they do like me,
Yeah,
but
they love you so
Yeah.
much.
Oh,
but I
They do.
I'm very short, so they think I am a child.
they think you're one of them.
Yes, they're like, you're not
That's so
intimidating. You're one of
funny.
us. But that pressure is real. But yeah, I don't know. Oh my God, how many people did I go through on my dad's side? That was interesting. My mom had a couple too, but it was harder for me to warm up to any of the men
Mm,
than I did to the stepmommies.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. On my.
Which is interesting.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
interesting.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I normally do so well with men.
That's why I'm
I
saying
know.
it's interesting.
I Yeah. I normally
Throw her
prefer-
in a room full of guys, we're good.
Okay.
That doesn't sound good, Olivia. Yeah, but so can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Personal. So, fertility wise, everything, you decided not to do that once that chapter ended. Was there ever a thought about adoption or anything, or what put the hard stop on it?
Yes, absolutely. You, by the way, ask me anything personal you ever want. So that's my favorite kind of conversation.
Okay, great.
So it was a long journey for me. It took 12 years of trying and failing to
Oh
have
my
babies.
That's a really
goodness.
long
It was a
time.
really long time. And during that time, I had different relationships. So my first marriage, 2 rounds of IVF, 1 miscarriage, then we got divorced. Then I did a classic cliche thing and dated a much younger man who wasn't ready. So then I froze my eggs.
Okay.
Then I met my now husband and we got pregnant naturally, which was completely mind-blowing just after I turned 41.
Wow.
And it made us realize how much we wanted it. So then we started pursuing fertility treatment, had another miscarriage, then a second one with Justin during lockdown. Then we decided to try egg donation, actually with a clinic here in LA. And that was an incredibly stressful process for loads of reasons. It was almost like the universe was sending sort of blocks. And now I understand why, because actually in this lifetime, I don't believe it's my purpose to be a biological mother. It took us a year to find a donor. Then we went through the whole process. And finally, it got to the stage where, several months down the line, lots of money spent. I mean, how lucky am I that I'm able to have the means? Found the donor, everything, all the levels, everything was great. The embryo was amazing. The embryo was transferred. And then that round failed. And I think I had set so much hope
on that
one that it felt so devastating. And I remember I was in LA and it was pouring with rain for 3 weeks. It was the beginning of 2023. There were mudslides and everything. It was so weird. It was like the weather was reflecting my own internal meltdown. And after that, my husband Justin and I had a series of very serious conversations because we had to talk it through. And ultimately, because Justin has 3 kids already, he understandably, and he had said this from the beginning, adoption didn't feel the right fit for him. And I was really respectful of that because I love our relationship. I'm so lucky that we have an amazing partnership. And in a way, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to push anything to such an extreme that I would sacrifice that.
Right.
And so I sort of decided to pivot and shift on the love that I did have, like focus my attention on the love that I did have and the wonderful relationship I do have, which so many people don't, rather than the love that I didn't.
Right.
And surrogacy obviously would also have been an option. And again, like I hugely admire and respect anyone who has done that.
Right.
But again, at that stage, I was what am I now? I was like 42, by the time 43. And I just felt like it would be another process that would take a lot of time and energy and presence. And I'd have to do it in LA, even though we live in London. And all of those things went into our conversations. And we just decided that actually we had such an amazing life already and let's focus on that. So that's why it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
And I really hugely admire people who do go that route. And I have a very dear friend who has gone that route. And it is so beautiful to see her with her son. I mean, it's such a special bond that they have.
Yeah.
What do you extract from that as, and maybe you don't, but whenever I hear anyone's journey with struggle in any arena, I go, okay, well, what do you extract from that in the sense of why do you think that you went through that? Not why did your body do that? No, on a higher level, what was in that for you?
That's an incredible question. So I know I'm speaking with 2 women who get this. I absolutely have a profound spiritual belief that there is a broader meaning and a kind of collective consciousness that we can tap into if only we are open-minded and open-hearted enough. And at the time that I was really struggling with, like, should we do surrogacy? Should we do another round of egg donation? Should I really push this with Justin and pursue adoption? I just didn't have any of the answers and I was really flailing. And a dear friend of mine who had also been through fertility treatment told me about a psychic who had given her an incredible reading. She said, can I put you in touch with her? And I got in touch with this extraordinary woman. She's actually based in the States. And I texted her. And the only thing that I said was my first name. I was like, my name's Elizabeth. I'd love to book a session. That's all she knew about me. She called me on the phone, so she didn't even see my face, on a Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. And she was like, okay, let's see what's here for you. And the first thing she said was, well, you love words.
Oh my God.
I said, I do love words.
I love words so much.
I love exactly words in my life. And because I've had various psychic experiences and before, I knew that I didn't want to ask any questions because I knew that I wanted to be able to trust whatever she had to say. I said nothing. She then went on and just said a number of totally accurate things. My husband's name began with a J, what he did for a living. Does your mother have neck pain? I checked, she did.
Oh my God.
All of this stuff. It was wild. Then she said halfway through, I know that you write books, but do you do something else? She's like, are you a life coach or something, helping people with their mistakes or their failures? And I was laughing, like,
You've got to be kidding.
not kidding. I was like, well, I'm not a life coach, but that tracks.
Wow.
And then she said, I feel as though you are struggling at the moment with letting go of a lifelong desire.
Mm.
She said, I don't know whether it's to do with children, because I don't know how old you are. But if it is to do with children, I strongly believe that you were a mother in a past life, and you were the mother of 6.
Wow.
Oh, stop.
And
I
it
know.
almost melted you. And this life has been offered to you to live on your own terms.
Mm.
And she said, and if you've ever tried to have children, you might have struggled with fertility, you might have had miscarriage or failed IVF, because the universe is protecting you. And when she said that, it was like everything fell into place.
Whoa.
I felt in such alignment, and she gave me peace.
And are you going to give us her number?
Yeah.
I will give you her number.
Okay.
I will
Carry
absolutely
on.
give it to you. So
Carry on.
you know, when someone says something and you feel it's the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. And it was so interesting to me because I'd been spending so much time and energy on trying to do this thing that I thought was my dream, that I longed for, that I thought in some ways was meant to be. But I think I'd just been trying to convince myself of that. We come back to the performance again. And as soon as she said it, it was like I had permission to let go. And I'm not lying. From that moment, I've been at total peace with it.
Wow.
The next day, I remember walking down the street and seeing a woman pushing a baby in a stroller. And for 12 years, that had caused me such pain seeing that on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to smile at her and think, good for you. That's your path in this lifetime. That also looks like a lot of hard work. And I'm sure you're doing it brilliantly. And it's not my path in this lifetime.
Yeah.
And also when this psychic said to me, you've been a mother of 6, that made total sense because I had had 3 failed rounds of fertility treatment and 3 miscarriages.
Whoa.
So technically, I'd been pregnant 6 times.
Holy
Wow.
Isn't that- I'd had 6 souls who
That is so
Oh my
incredible.
gosh.
it was life-changing. And so in answer to your question,
Yeah.
I think what it's taught me is the power of purpose and getting really honest with yourself about what your purpose is, because it might be different from the thing that you've been telling yourself you should want. And now I firmly believe that my purpose is to speak like this to other women and men who have been through similar journeys, to offer them hope and to be able to talk to that experience from a place of knowledge and wisdom. And I think the other thing that it's taught me is that you can feel sad about something.
Mm-hmm.
I will always feel sad to a greater or lesser degree that I never had the chance in this lifetime to mother my own child, because I'm sure it's an extraordinary and challenging experience and a very unique kind of love. And I'm curious and I'm sad that I won't get that experience. But it's taught me that I can be at peace with that sadness as well. That sadness really shapes your life in a profound way alongside happiness. There's a depth to it. I feel more understanding of life and what it is to be human because of that experience.
Right.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Last Bottle Wines. If you haven't heard about these folks yet, they are a Napa Valley-based online wine shop with a twist. They offer just one hand-picked wine per day until it sells out.
So new day, new wine, always at incredible prices. We're talking 30 to 70% off retail.
They taste through hundreds of wines each month to find you only the best, most exciting bottles from all over the world.
The best part? There's no subscriptions, no fees, no minimum purchase. Just a daily email with a really great wine that's sure to impress.
We're offering our listeners 10% off your next order with code BROADIdeas. Sign up at lastbottlewines.com and find out why Last Bottle is the most fun way to discover and buy amazing wine. so massively powerful, like just mind blowing. I've just had chills all over my body, like everything you were just saying. But how cool,
Yeah.
to be able to. There's so many people that have such high expectations on things that they want in life or things they think they want or whatever, but to actually come to a place to be completely at peace with something. I don't think there's a bigger challenge, really.
Mhm.
And the fact that you've done that so successfully is, I'm just so like blown away. I think it's so admirable.
Thank you so much.
And what
It's
a
like-
gift that you got to speak to that person. I do think like
Mhm.
on a spiritual level, I'm like, my whole belief system is God shows up through people, places, situations, experiences, right? So it's like whatever you turn that, your thoughts over, your prayers, whatever it is that you turn over, and then you get the, oh, I want you to talk to someone.
Mhm.
And it's like, that's how your prayer's being answered
Yes.
in that moment. And we never know how that's going to come through.
Yes.
And we never know what person says what that can lift something inside of us and be like, oh, I'm actually okay.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree.
What a gift that is.
Such a gift, and also so instructive on the power of surrender.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
surrender is so different from giving up.
Mm-hmm.
I think I also had a fear about quitting. Like, would
Sure.
that mean that I wasn't strong enough and I needed to push through because the battle was trying to test whether I would be a good mother in that respect? And actually, for me, it wasn't about quitting. It was about surrender to a plan that is bigger than my own.
Yeah. It's like there's this image of, it's like, have you seen that image where I think it might be Jesus, but it's a cartoon. It's not really a drawing of him. And he's holding a little bear, and the little girl is standing in front of him crying hysterically, reaching out. But behind him, he has this gargantuous bear. And it's like she wants that little thing so bad. But if she could just let go of that little bear, behind him, he was waiting to give her way more than she could have even imagined. And I think it's really hard to do when your brain has been trained to look for the thing you've programmed it to want.
Mm-hmm.
That is so profound. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true. Yeah.
It's hard.
It's really hard. And I've been on a whole journey myself with comparison.
Oh, yeah.
I know. It's so tough because we live in a culture where we're constantly comparing our insides. Like, we know how insecure, how neurotic, how messy we feel.
Mm-hmm.
And we now live in an age where we can compare our insides with everyone else's seemingly perfect outsides through the prism of social media. And that's really hard if you're someone who wants to do the best.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes to separate being the best version of yourself from trying to be the best in every format, in every aspect of your life, and like trying to compete with others. And I've sort of understood now that what I value is more depth, less noise. That the community I have is so powerful and important that it's about connecting more deeply with them than connecting less deeply with millions of people.
Right.
So, and that's in terms of sort of professional success. So, if my podcast isn't number one, that's okay, because actually what's at number one is potentially a conversation that I value less than the sort of depths of conversation that I'm having on a weekly basis. And to be frank, the depth of conversation I'm having with you two, that's the gift. This is amazing. That's where the meaning lies. And yet the comparison thing is very tricky to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I now understand about life that it is our role is to show up in the struggle and to dig deep and be the usest versions of ourselves, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are incredibly unique. That's the thing that we have. Like, actually, my job is not to try and be a version of someone else. My job is to try and show up as the most authentic version of me, and then trust that the plan involves a gargantuan bear.
Yeah.
And that will happen if I just keep showing up with truth.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, completely. And I think too, it goes back to that anxious brain, is that it's also not our fault that we compare. Our brains have been programmed to keep us alive.
Yes.
And in order to do that, we look at the village and go, am I doing it right? So I
Yes.
cannot be plucked out and killed.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of that, if people really understood the way the brain worked, they would have more compassion for themselves, because they'd be able to say, like, oh, it's actually natural to compare yourself. It's what you do with that information that matters.
Exactly. And so many of us, myself included, are not only operating from the anxious brain space, which is doing its best for you. It's absolutely
right.
correct. Like, we do need to connect to survive as humans, but also operating from a childhood space of unhealed wounds.
Yep.
That often lead us into that spot of reaction rather than response.
Right.
And our poor child selves are doing the best that they can. They're doing the best that they could with the tools they had available at the time. And I had this revelation over the summer where I went to with my husband to a wellness retreat in Thailand, which was amazing.
Oh, wow.
It's the one that White Lotus was loosely based on.
Oh, wow.
I want to go.
It's amazing. I had this incredible conversation with a Buddhist monk about some stuff I was struggling with. And I had always thought that the way to heal my child self was to parent her. And that was another way in which I thought I was failing. I was like, I don't know what the answers
Oh,
are,
my goodness.
child Elizabeth. Like, I don't know. And he
Yeah.
said, no. What you need to do is simply acknowledge how she's feeling. That's it. You don't need to have the answer. You live in the question.
Mm.
And that has been, again, really profoundly healing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That now it's just, if I feel me feeling anxious or hurt or scared or upset because someone's done something, all I have to do is say, I completely get it.
Right.
Of course you feel like that.
That's
Right.
it.
And then it goes.
It's
like
bearing
the new,
witness.
it's almost like not new, but it's very present in parenting nowadays. It's like acknowledging feelings
Yeah.
instead of like, you're okay, you're
Yes.
fine. It's, I can see that you're sad right now.
Yes.
I understand. I would feel sad too, or I
Yep.
can see that. Look like that hurt. I can see that you're hurt right now. It's all about just acknowledging their feelings, which it's always been around, but it just doesn't it seem like it's just more now? Like,
Oh,
really,
it is. I feel
right?
like there's an awareness to, like, we're not there to fix each other's problems.
Right.
We're there to bear witness
Yeah.
and, like, hold your hand while you go through it, because the minute we get in there and try and fix it, we're signaling you
can't.
you don't have the answer,
Yes.
which is false,
Right.
because
Yeah.
And
each
you
one of us
can't-
has it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
And you're also signaling you can't be in this spot. Like, you need to move on.
Get out of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One of the
And
things
that's not a failure.
Yeah,
Rachel has
that's
just
it.
spilt.
That's just me spilling coffee all over myself.
one of the things at our
Now
school
you'll
that
grow.
was my favorite, because I went to spiritual
Shit.
psychology school. And in that school, there was 200 people in the room, and we'd do really heavy, deep work. And there's Kleenex under each seat, but you weren't allowed to hand someone a Kleenex. And they said, because you're signaling when you do that to make it stop, clean it up, let me help you, versus sit with them while they cry. If they want a Kleenex, they have the resources to get it. You're just there to bear witness. And I remember that little distinction changed everything for me.
That, I feel like
Thanks, Papa Kevin.
the truth bombs I'm getting from this. This is so, that's amazing.
She is. Yeah.
That
she
is
has
amazing.
this.
I
What?
also think I've learnt the value of simply
Oh,
saying,
thank you.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
Right.
I'm so sorry. That I think it's very important to acknowledge, again, because some people find it uncomfortable. If someone goes through a grieving process and they've lost someone that they love, for other people, it can sometimes feel very awkward. Like, they don't want to raise it in case it sort of re-traumatizes them or makes them sad, or they don't want to, or they feel uncomfortable about potentially losing someone in their life.
Yeah.
And I always say, you should just acknowledge it. And and I'm sorry is a complete sentence, because exactly as you were saying, it makes you feel seen in your pain, but you're not fixing the pain, because some pain can't be fixed.
Right.
That's right.
Some pain is the price we pay for love.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to go to that spiritual psychology school.
USM. It's amazing.
Is it still there?
Yeah. Yeah. They moved locations, but it's called the University of Santa Monica. It's spiritual psychology. It's a master's program, and they do like,
Wow.
I think, a year program at a time. When we did it, it was 2 years, but you'd love it.
That's amazing. Can we talk about the telepathy tapes?
Please.
But can I preface talking about it? Can I ask you the question that you asked me?
Yeah.
On a sort of spiritual plane,
Mhm.
why do you feel you have chosen the sons that you've chosen, or they have chosen you as their parent?
Yes. I've asked myself that many times. And I think that from the first day Shepherd came into my life, my second born, I think I'm in 12-step recovery program. And one of the premises is one day at a time. And I got that cognitively. I'd never gotten that experientially. And so when my son was born and he had so many health complications, if I were to go further than the minute I was in, it was utter despair. And so the gift of Shepherd was just be right here. And he teaches me presence on a daily basis, because I'll be like, he's never going to be able to take care of himself. Well, I'm going to die. Who's going to take care of him? And then it's like, to me, the spiritual lesson is just be here. Like, you do not need to go further than this moment to know what's going to happen next. So I think he's been the biggest spiritual teacher I've ever had. And then as far as Elliot goes, he's just my little soulmate, you know? So I think that I think I was gifted my children, one, because I don't know. I think I can, like, you know, obviously I am the mom for him. And I think it's a lot of my own blocks. I'm realizing, like, when he wants to leave the room, so do I. As opposed to, you can do hard things.
Yes.
Right?
Right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What about Briar?
Oh God. What?
How old is Briar?
She's 11, just turned 11.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, she's a lot different than me in a lot of ways. She's super sensitive, very inquisitive, very deep thinker, all of it. I have to answer a lot of questions, which has forced me to really think about things, which I've kind of always gone by life, like, you know, and just like, and so that's been really like, oh, we have to think about things.
And what's it like for an 11-year-old girl in California right now?
Again, my daughter is a very unique specimen.
Okay. She's an old soul, maybe.
Old soul, very like innocent, you know, grasping onto childhood, not falling into any of the popular things, any of the things that are talked about. Like, she is just truly unique.
She really is.
She really is.
The
I love the sound
innocent,
of
but
that.
also like
yeah.
very just knows who she is.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do something else. Where I am a huge people pleaser.
Yeah.
So to see her be able to, now she can be, you know, people can be like, I want to eat your snack gummies, and she'll just give them up. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like she's just.
Yeah, but I don't think it's coming from a people-pleasy thing.
It's not. No, it's
She's
not.
just like, they wanted them.
Yeah, she's like, well, they
Do you know
really
what-
wanted them, and they wouldn't stop asking. So I was like, all right, here you go. But I will say she definitely like knows who she is, which is cool.
Yeah.
I still don't know who I am. It feels like at times.
Do you? So I half relate to what you just said there about not knowing who you are, in the sense that I went through years of like inveterate people pleasing, and it was really toxic in romantic relationships. So I was like,
Yeah.
let me
Right.
just shapeshift to be whoever I think you want me to be.
Right.
And that way you will never leave me and I will be happy. That,
Right.
spoiler alert, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
But actually, I think I did know myself. Aged 4, when I knew I wanted to be a writer, I did know myself.
Yeah.
And then conditioning and society and everything else got in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that in my 40s now, I'm stripping that back and getting much closer to who I always knew that I was, age
Right.
4.
Mhm.
Do you relate
So
to that?
cool. Yeah. I think 40s are a magical decade.
Me too.
You know,
Yeah.
it's been it's cool because you're like, this is what I want to, my time is precious and this is what I want to focus on. And these are the people I want to be around. And these are the things I enjoy doing. And that's what I want to do. And it's none of the expectations, society expectations or, you know, all of that. So I relate to that a lot. And it is stripping it back and being like, no, these are the things I want to be doing with my time.
Also, we lived through the 90s.
Oh my goodness.
Which especially for you, I mean, I wasn't in the public eye in the 90s, I mean, that, but I just can't even imagine the pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, and as women, that was a toxic decade in so many ways.
Yeah. No, I think
You're a
it's-
little like Briar in that, though.
What?
Like, so Briar isn't being touched by the kind of atmosphere,
Expectations? Yeah.
right? Social media, expectations, girls growing up too fat. Like, she's not being really touched by that. She's Briar. And she's having this kind of like kid experience and kind of sticking to that. The same thing that happened with you and getting famous young. You didn't get swept in that environment at all. You were kind of like an odd bird in that.
That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Maybe I am like
Yeah.
my daughter.
Oh,
That's what I'm
She's
saying.
like me.
yeah.
In
Because
some
if you
ways,
think of
that's
it, there
comforting.
is a parallel there. Like, you didn't get touched by that.
Yeah.
Whereas my son knows about the Epstein files.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I'm not even kidding.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, you can't teach people about that at school.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. Well, on that note, this has been such a wonderful
incredible.
conversation.
Oh, I've loved it.
Oh my
so
God. Thank you
much.
so much.
No, I really, really appreciate you both taking the time and allowing me the space.
Oh my God. No,
You're
we're
incredible.
Yeah, you really
You're
are.
both
We're
I'm
so
obsessed with you.
grateful.
Can we be friends?
Yeah,
Yes.
we are.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, we are.
I'm going to show you my crisps and you're going to give us the psychic's number.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a fair exchange.
Yes.
That is a
obviously.
fair exchange. Thank you,
Thank you so
much
much.
for
Thank you
being
both.
here.
I've loved it. Thank you.
Loved it.
That
We
was
got to do one of your
really-
books as we started a book club.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I took my headphones off.
Yeah, you did take your headphones
I
off.
can't stand to listen to my own voice.
Mm.
I love myself.
Interesting. Hey guys,
It doesn't interrupt you.
everything interrupts me. It's called my brain.
Knock, knock.
Doesn't stop.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting chicken.
No.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting chicken.
Interrupting chick.
Oh my God. You were so committed to that peacock.
That was a good one too.
It was
Thank
a
you.
good one.
Thank you.
Oh, that one. I love when I forget that one and then they say it and I'm like, fuck, I forgot to interrupt them.
Stop it. You just keep sitting there.
They'll be like, interrupting chicken who? And I'll be like,
Rachel, that's so
oh my God,
funny.
that's so good. Why did the old man throw his clock out of the window?
why?
Because he wanted to see time fly.
Nice.
Oh. Yep. We have elementary school children with elementary school jokes.
Jeff follows a dad joke Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You would love these men.
This would be my favorite. There's
Rachel?
nothing I love more than a dad joke.
Okay, it's two guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it started with one, but he'll do it with different guys. And they sit on the dock in Tahoe. It's two men.
They just do dad
and they
jokes.
just do dad jokes. Very deadpan, very serious, very up your alley hole.
That is so up my alley hole. I can't even stand it.
I'm going to make sure he sends it to you.
Oh, really though?
He studies them.
Nothing I love more than a dad joke. Jeff and I are so much more like, yeah,
Alike.
I know.
I know.
What did you say? We were sitting at an event and I said something and like you were like, I just got so scared realizing how much you and Jeff are actually alike.
It scares him sometimes too.
How much we're alike?
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't like it.
No, I don't think he doesn't like it. I think it's startling to think he's like, you know what I mean? He's like,
I
wow.
think I said it's too people-y in here.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It was
like,
too
oh.
people-y.
Yeah.
It was way too people-y in there. Don't you think?
Where were we?
At the event last week.
Which one? What event?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, the gala.
Yes.
I don't.
Olivia, we were
very
at
different.
a quote unquote gala event,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
For Art of Elysium. We love the
Incredible
organization.
stuff.
Leah, it was Olivia, Leah, and I. And I'm like, I want to go back to the hotel room. Like, I'm done. Like, can we just,
Yeah.
Olivia was like, no, I feel like we should wait. Like, I think we should just, she
was taking it in.
she did not want to leave.
Here's the thing.
You would have stayed until the sun came up if you
I
could.
think there's something inherently different about me than most people. Not all.
That's a good thing, though. I like that about you.
I think I like people so much.
She
so
fucking
weird.
loves talking to people. Kevin, I can't even tell you. She loves it so much. She actually got mad at me because we had assigned seats at a
Yeah.
table, which I hate when they do that.
Uh-huh.
And I was on the end, which meant I was going to have to talk to a stranger.
Uh-huh.
I was like, Olivia, you have to switch with me. You love talking to people.
Mhm.
Do not put me on the end. She fought me on it.
That was because of the angle, because I didn't want to have to angle myself that way. But
In any other circumstance, she will jump at the chance to talk to anybody. It was
So
just
weird.
because she was on the wrong side of me.
Yeah.
She fought me on it.
Yeah.
Because of her eyesight. Like she has
Yeah.
funny
Mhm.
eyesight.
yeah, so I couldn't see as well. So I'm like, I don't
But she
wanna
did
be
it
able to,
anyway,
like,
so.
see- I couldn't see.
Oh no, we put Johnny on the end.
And we put Johnny, which is fine. Because it's always, here's the thing though.
Mhm.
I love the people that you also don't have to talk to.
Yep.
That you don't feel like when you're with them, you don't feel like you have to talk to them. Here's what I don't like either. I don't like it when you have to do all the work.
No. People you have to do. We were just talking about
Yes.
somebody like that and I can't remember who it was. But yeah, when you have to do all the work.
Yeah, and they don't do any of the work with you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's stressful for sure. I was thinking of another podcast that you both did, Hollywood Handbook. Sean and Hayes have the same. Sean has the same grievance with Hayes because Hayes is extremely sociable. And so whenever we do a live show and we talk to people after, Sean always jokes that his conversations with the fans are like, good show. And then Sean going, thanks. And he looks over and Hayes is like, my cousin's name is Greg too.
That's us.
That's us. But I feel like it never works with two people being the same.
Yeah.
Like partnerships are usually like, that's why we work. It's the same with Jeff and I.
Mm-hmm.
You never have two
of the same.
of the same,
No.
do you?
I have two friends, Bree and Solana, that are both very social butterflies. I would say they're like, one of them is like just capital E extrovert, and then the other one is just very social. And they just like can steal any room. And it's funny because their partners are both extremely quiet. So that's kind of an unusual one for me. But they're the best. They're two of my best friends.
Aw.
Got it.
Yeah, we're three couples and we go by the Sinister Six. So we go to Vegas together like twice a year. It's super fun.
That's so.
Oh, yeah.
I wish we had traditions.
Do you guys
like
do
that.
like the whole like group?
Photo?
I was going to say
We take a selfie. Yeah, we do a
Do you
big
do all
orgy.
that big
Yeah, we go to
orgy
Vegas, have an
and
orgy, go home.
little buffet on the way out.
I fucking love a buffet.
As does Jeff.
I'm telling you.
It's my Virgos.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
People hate when I say we have to go, but we have to go, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Love
People
you.
do hate it.
Mean it.
Yeah.
Bye.
I am the people. I'm them.
Bye.
I know. Olivia never wants.
That was a Headgum podcast.